ATF for the family. Hell is you saying? I am the man. I go super saiyan when I'm on the beat. Piles of sand, buckets and pans. I get to the bands when I'm in the streets.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Herbsurdity Podcast with Alex and Herb. My name is Herbsurdity El Segundo, and to my left is
just Alex. What's up, y'all?
Now, today we have a very special episode.
Super special.
This is our Star Wars special, right? So we have some friends with us today. We got Aaron Mack, and we got my man Tony Hashburger. The first thing I want to mention before we really get into it, Alex and I have some prepared questions for everybody. This is Mandalorian's coming out. We're really excited about it. And we definitely want to get some talking done. But I just want to say, having a Star Wars special it's like a rite of passage, almost, right? I feel like the British comedians, right, same crews who did like Mighty Python, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, they had a Star Wars special. You know what I'm saying? It was Robot Chicken. You know what I'm saying? Family Guy.
Yep.
I mean, even on College Humor, right? They got a whole Star Wars show, Star Wars base show, parody show. The Dorkly Bits, right? Like, everybody, if you got a series of stuff you parody in Star Wars at some point, you paying homage to Star Wars at some point. It's a large part of everybody's life.
It raised the whole generation.
There's three main portions of sci-fi, and this is the third of it. So this is where we at. Now you want to open it up? First question.
Yeah, sure. Let me ask you guys, when did you first fall in love with Star Wars? Around the room.
I mean, I'll start. I started real young. My dad, I told you before, my dad was a huge Star Wars nerd.
Right.
And I had the box set of the VHS's original trilogy. And for that, like, that for me, when I was young, was just like life. I don't know what it was. It just, something about it just spoke to me, you know? Yeah. And every time I watch the original trilogy now, it's I got a special place in my heart for it.
That nostalgia, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Return of the Jedi mostly. It was that green lightsaber.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I don't know what it was. It was like a legendary lightsaber.
Yeah, it was definitely a switch up. I enjoyed it myself.
Yeah, my story was about the same. My dad sat me down and watched Star Wars with me when I was like 4 or 5 years old. The original box set. Yeah. He got three of them at the same time. The collector's edition at that time. And it was crazy though, because like around like 2000 was when he passed away. So like he was like really anticipating the new movie that was coming out, because he wanted to see it, and he never really got a chance. He never got the chance to see that. So when I watch those now, like that's all I could think about. So like when they kept going with the story, I was like, all right, that's like a legacy kind of thing for me. So yeah. Plus they like inspired my craft too. So
all right,
that's what's up.
Go ahead, Herb.
So mine's a little different, obviously. I got a different father situation. My first experience with Star Wars was way before the movie, sadly. Like, I didn't even know what the movies were at one point. So there was an SNES video game, and I remember, right, being Luke, and I'm running through catacombs, and like you in the speeder on Hoth.
It's Return of the Jedi, right?
Yeah, like it was.
I remember that game.
It was
an
fire
amazing game.
It was. It's actually rated as one of the best SNES games. Like, and so I went to my godmother had a boyfriend. It was his house. It was like his like little niece, nephew, like brother, sister, type of thing. So I'm over there playing with them, and my mind is getting blown. I'm like, this is incredible. I'm just watching them play, and they say, "You want to play?" I said, "Yes." What? Yes. And then it blew my mind, and I still didn't know what Star Wars was. They said, "You never seen Star Wars?" And I go, "I don't know what that is. This game is fantastic." And so then I seen Looney Tunes, right? Plucky Duck, right? Star Wars parody, right?
Oh yeah.
So I'm out here watching that, and I'm just like, all right, Darth Duck, that's what's up. And so the whole time I'm thinking that's Star Wars, right? I'm like, this is pretty incredible. It don't look nothing like the video game though, but that's all right. Flash forward years later, they decided to re-release the original trilogy in the movie theater before the VHS box set come out. So I was like, all right, I gotta figure something out. I didn't know, my mom ain't really feel like taking me, but my mom had a boyfriend at the time. He was in love with Star Wars, right? Because it's the thing he grew up with. He was like, oh, I can't wait to take you. We're gonna go right now. We go up there, and I said, "Oh, this is the real Star Wars." Like I had no clue, and I was enamored. Right, like I couldn't wait for the next one, and they didn't release all 3 at once or nothing like that. Like you literally had to wait some time between them, like with special event dates. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh my God, I can't wait till the next Star Wars drop." And I was out there like. People wearing shirts and costumes and stuff, just like when it originally came out. It felt exactly the same. There was no difference. You know, you go to school, everybody's got a little folder with a lightsaber on it or something, and you start fighting over who get to keep the pencils with the lightsabers on them. It was real tough. But yeah, that's the original trilogy. Definitely got me there. But it started with the video games.
For me, it's a little more simple. It's the scene in A New Hope where Obi-Wan and Darth Vader meet, and there's just so much history you can tell, and it's just like what happened between them. And I'm just as a kid I was very, very like I wanted to know more, and I just needed to see what happened next.
Relatable.
And, so because like my parents didn't necessarily love Star Wars. They kind of put it on and just like to pacify me a little bit, but like
Yeah, it was definitely a hands-on sight moment.
Yeah, like it was just like, what did this old man do to this guy in this robot suit? Like, why is he so mad with him?
You know what I'm saying? James Earl Jones,
Yeah,
furious.
and he just had this booming voice, and Darth Vader was so cold.
Yeah,
like
didn't care about nothing, man.
Yeah, like
just turn that man into clothes. I've never seen such a thing.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? I've never seen somebody die and turn into clothes, bro. I was like, yo, he popped him out of existence.
Right,
hard.
Yeah,
I didn't even fully understand what a lightsaber was at the time. I was like, a laser?
I need one. I needed one.
And then he's stomping him out like, let me make sure he's not there anymore. Like,
I don't have time for these clothes.
Exactly. I've seen this trick before.
Like, he had them.
Yeah, he did. But okay. Let me go around the room one more time, and I'm gonna give you the next question after this.
Go ahead.
Favorite character? Doesn't matter which side of the Force. Doesn't matter if they're a bounty hunter. Favorite character in all of the Star Wars continuity.
Easy money, so easy.
Oh, go ahead.
What? Oh, okay. Grand Moff Tarkin. So Wilhelm Tarkin, right? Is the greatest Star Wars character there ever will be. Nobody can contend me on that. There's no discussion, opinions, whatever. He started off very underdeveloped, and the actor himself attracted me to the character, right? It's very gangster. So the fact that my man told him, I'm not going to wear my costume, I'm going to wear these house slippers, right? And them house slippers in the Smithsonian. I don't know if y'all know that. They are.
That's a true story?
That's a true story. Those house slippers are in the Smithsonian. So my man told him, said, I'm going to wear my house slippers when I'm on set. That's what it is. That's how you going to do it, Mr. Lucas. I don't want no talking about it. Matter of fact, he probably called him Georgie or something because he was real cold with it, right? And then the fact that you look at all the other characters in the movie, right? You got, you know what I'm saying, Sidious, you know what I'm saying, Darth Vader, and they used to tell you, oh, these are the most evil, baddest dudes in the whole known galaxy. Don't nobody ever talk back to Tarkin. You don't never hear Sidious telling Tarkin what to do. He always makes suggestions. You don't never hear Vader choke somebody out for looking at him wrong. But when Tarkin come over and say, like, you gonna do what I said, right? And he be like, yeah, yes, sir. You got it. You got it, Chief, right? No force powers, right? All he got is straight, pure, raw hands, right? He destroyed Alderaan. People say, oh, Vader didn't. No, Vader sat and watched while Tarkin forced people who didn't want to do it, because you can see he fired half of them afterward. He said a couple of y'all was 3 seconds behind. Y'all thought about it. Y'all hesitated, throwing y'all out of airlock. He did that.
Oh man. Oh,
he did that, bro. Body covered in scars. He grew up rich boy. They put him on a planet by himself in the wilderness. Said, come out, survive, kill these monsters, bro. His whole book is just flames. The comic book flames. When you see him on Clone Wars, he's the reason Anakin becomes Darth Vader. He's the one that convinces him to go to the dark side. It's not like Palpatine can say what he want to say, right? But Tarkin he's like, nah, I got you, bro. We homies. I'm gonna get you this little dude for you. Don't worry about it. And every time when Anakin was rescuing Tarkin, right? Tarkin would just say little slick stuff to him, like, that's how they talk to you, huh? That's crazy.
He's one of them dudes.
I thought you was powerful.
He hit him with the Suge Knight?
Yeah.
Oh no.
It don't seem like Obi-Wan really respects you. That's
Obi-Wan
weird.
all up in the battles with you?
it don't really seem like they want you to be in love. Why they hate you being in love so much?
Not
They
giving
mad
you
'cause
no
got a
credit
girl
for
that ain't got
the
nothing?
wins or nothing.
Nothing.
So he was real.
So real, bro.
He was realistic. Like
The most realistic villain ever. Like they gave him a Nazi's name because they wanted you to be like, yo, this man is pure, raw, unadulterated evil. He is, bro. He's untouchable. Can't nobody step to him. He don't care about nothing except the hands, bro. If you weak, you gone, son. It's like that. He eradicated pirates. He didn't arrest them. He was like, I gotta figure out a way to launch them into the sun, and he did that. He launched them into a sun just because he ain't like the way they looked at his grains on his planet, bro.
That's
Because his daddy had a statue.
That
He
is-
was like, I don't want them looking at my daddy's statue funny. I'm going to launch people into the sun. And then have them sit there knowing they can't do nothing about it. And the only other option is to like throw yourself into space where you die, right?
Yeah.
Or just like go into the sun. And then he just watched from a distance and like monitor like cold face. Are you begging for help?
I will say this though. I'll give you some credit on that one. In Rogue One, his character, while CGI, was completely frightening. I was so afraid he was going to blow up everything at any moment.
Yo, and the fact that he was just like, yeah, I got to test this thing out.
Yeah.
The test was to see who was going to hesitate later when he wanted him to destroy something for real.
Yeah.
He was trying to calculate how long it actually took him to do the calculations to fire the laser. So that when he was like, all right, destroy Alderaan, that's how he knew. He was like, all right, you was 2 milliseconds off. Last time you did the joint fast. If anything, you should have been faster, not slower. You did.
That's so much pressure.
You did.
That's so much
And he
pressure.
ain't tell him it was like that. He was just like, hey, y'all make sure don't fail me, bro. I'm harsh out here. He didn't tell him one slip up and it was death. He didn't say that. But he just thought they would assume. Like, that's crazy.
All right. Aaron, go ahead.
I would say Ben Solo is my favorite. Yeah, Kylo Ren. And the reason I say that is because like
You took mine.
the reason.
Oh, man.
So the reason I said it is because like his character was just like it was understandable and it was relatable. Like the battle between good and evil. Like should I or should not? Like what is the real reason for my life? Like should I do this thing or not? Like
He had a real inner conflict.
Yeah. And it was something that was new to Star Wars because it was like they never put that much energy into like
Nuance.
right, like and people personalities. Like it just never did that. Like the whole it was the first time that you seen character development on that scale in Star Wars. And that's why I love that character. And I like how his story ended. His story.
I disagree. I'm up with
No. Don't.
Okay, go ahead.
We won't get into that later. Don't.
Go ahead, Troy.
That's not what this is about.
You're right. Go ahead. Go ahead, Troy.
For me, I mean, I could think of a couple of different ones, but I like Windu in particular, Mace Windu, because the lightsaber.
Yeah, man.
His purple lightsaber was purple because Samuel L. Jackson said, I'm going to have a purple lightsaber or I'm not doing this.
Yep.
Straight up.
Yep.
Right.
Hey, when you got that clout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta pick another one now. Luke Skywalker.
I didn't want to go that. I didn't want to be that easy with it.
And Mary Suing, bro.
No,
That's crazy.
no. But here's my thing for Luke, and this is my thing for Star Wars in general. It's about not living up to expectations.
Oh, he definitely accomplished that. I get you.
Like across the board, nobody does. Anakin did. He ended up kind of backdooring his way into his expectations.
I have a theory for that I'm gonna bring up later.
We can do that.
Yeah.
But also Luke is really cold in Return of the Jedi, which I think is why everybody likes that one.
Yeah.
The people that do like that movie is because he's so dope in that one.
Yeah.
Like,
He's
dressed
developed
in
at
all
that
black,
point. Yeah.
green lightsaber,
Right.
just no nonsense.
Yeah.
Like he's like, all right, I'm here now. What's up? Yeah.
Like Yoda gave me the word. I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I got it.
Total mood change.
Yeah. Like he went like no. Yeah.
So
It was that Force, man.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted to do. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, like number 2, when he had the Venom suit. No, it was number 3.
Yeah. 3.
Yeah.
3 when he had the Venom suit and like he had his emo phase where he just put on all black and he went through the town acting like he was bad.
How
That
did
was
they
funny
think
to
that
me.
was the same thing?
Because it's the same outfit.
And the haircut, I guess, kind of. But that's it.
I mean, nah, it was definitely just an emo haircut. But like you could tell they was just like, oh yeah, visually it's the vibe, right? They did not know it was gonna be the goofiest thing they had ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke never danced in the like middle of the street.
No,
Yeah, that was
the audience grew up, and then
And,
like
pointed at
they
people.
made it for an audience that would have been there for Spider-Man 1. So
Yeah, no.
sorry,
Okay.
raindrops on my head.
No,
That was
yeah,
dope.
it was. But go ahead with your.
Oh my all right. So y'all know I like to do one sound reasonable question.
One that's totally left the field.
Yeah, and then I got one that I've been thinking about personally because I've been.
That Orange Jubilee hit you?
Yep, it has. I had last night. I was thinking about it. No, I definitely got some plans. So, the first reasonable one, right?
Okay.
Who is the most underrated character in Star Wars?
I like that.
Because it's some people that you might see him for 30 seconds in the movie. Kit Fisto, you know what I'm saying? You see Kit Fisto in the movie for like 30 seconds, right? But then, like in Clone Wars, he got whole sagas. In the comic, he got whole issues, right?
He had a dope video game too for web browser.
Bro, Kit Fisto was amazing. The fact that he was one of the most deadliest Jedi who never went to the dark side, but he wanted to see how close you could get to the dark side without crossing the bridge. Like, he's hard, bro. He treated Grievous like he was a punching bag, son. Like, but when you see him in the movies, if you blink too fast, bro, you missed him completely.
Yeah.
And they did a whole lot of makeup work on him. Like, that had to be hours for him to hit one smile and go.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
funny thing, I don't even know who that is because I never
You don't know Kit Fisto?
No.
Oh,
He is in the background of episode 3.
I thought it was 2.
2.
But
Yeah.
that just proved her point. Like if you just watch the movies, you don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Like, I never heard of him.
'Cause I thought he was one of the Jedi's trying to arrest Palpatine too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I
thought.
briefly, because all right, so and just a background about him, like he's the reason Grievous got toe up. Yeah. All right, I'm glad we're on the same page now. Kit Fisto, underrated, super underrated.
Okay. Let me see if I got one off the top of my head. If anybody got one, go ahead.
I don't. I'm still trying to think of one.
I'm gonna say, Finn, because his potential and what he ended up being is not what we were promised.
Facts.
I can
And I got I'm gonna let Herb do the racial rant on this one because I've been bringing up racial stuff a lot in the last few episodes. But I'm gonna say this: that first trailer when we first see Finn and what how he was presented was he was gonna be the star, the main character, the guy to star these next generation Star Wars movies. The lightsaber scene at the end of whatever trailer that was. It was like, oh crap, we're gonna have a black Jedi.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it becomes the comic relief, almost kind of Princess Leia role.
Yeah, that really didn't settle well with me either. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
it hurt me too. But for the potential, I would say he's the most underrated character.
I don't even know if y'all know this because I don't know how much y'all read the books. He makes a comment that he was a janitor when he worked for the First Order. Do y'all know why that's a punchline to a joke? Do y'all know why that's hilarious? Y'all know what his actual job was? He was their #1 trooper. Like he was top of the battalion. Like he was like they wanted him for promotion type stuff, right? He was part of a group that they call the Cleaners. So what they do is when a planet is showing resistance, right, that they want to dominate or they need something done, they send him and his battalion in like nails, like slips, zeros, like they roll in and they supposed to just murk everybody.
Eradicate.
They take out the issue, they clean it up.
Right.
They come in, slaughter everybody that's talking about, thinking about fighting back. And then they dip and let everybody else come in and do what they got to do to finish securing the area. So, like, that's what he was supposed to do. He wasn't cold enough, right, because he cared too much about his fellow troopers. Like, he was like, he didn't want to leave a man behind. Right. He was a very good soldier, but he was too good, right? Yeah. So Phasma had to constantly try to tell him, like, yo, we don't care about others. You care about yourself only. Be very selfish. And he couldn't get the concept. He would fail simulations because he would go back, still complete the objective, but he wastes 30 seconds saving somebody else's life to do it.
Which we get hints of in the movies, but we never, like, the problem with the new generations, we never saw that development.
No, bro. Never. Like, because now that you say that, like, I had no idea that was even a thing.
It's in the books.
So he picks up the lightsaber, he just know how to use it off rip, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because he's the top hand combatant. Like, he beat everybody.
And I noticed that.
They do a round robin fight style. and he just don't get beat. Like,
And,
people got to go around twice for him.
Yeah, and everybody knew him. They were screaming traitor from like miles away.
Right, because if you was just a guy taking out the trash, bro, they don't know who you are without your helmet on.
Yeah,
that was Phasma's favorite soldier. Bro. Yeah, and none of that come across.
That's why
in the movie script.
It matters so much when he finally beat her in Last Jedi.
Yeah, because they did have like it was like they had too much history that was unspoken.
Yeah. And I get into that later, but Phasma.
Also, like total waste of a character.
And her book is one of the coldest books, bro.
I bet though.
And like she defeated so many people to get where she's at, including Hux's father. But I know it's another time. But y'all think about your underrated characters yet? Y'all there?
I'm gonna take the easy route, and I'm gonna go the same route as Alex is going.
Okay.
Just because, like, when you said that, it did make me think. Like when I first saw him, he's got a lightsaber in his hand. I was like, okay, this is gonna be really interesting now because we didn't expect that.
Yeah.
And it just ended up being, a big flop on his end. I felt like he could have done a lot more. Like the push for it was there. Like they were bringing him up.
Yeah.
For I thought a lot more than that, but that's what I'm going with.
JJ tried to save him in episode 9, but it was too late.
He was too far gone. Yeah. As a joke, I'm gonna go ahead and say Jar Jar Binks.
I knew somebody was gonna do it. I knew it was gonna happen.
There was rumors. There was too many rumors that Jar Jar Binks was gonna be the Sith Lord, the next Sith Lord, and I was waiting.
I heard about that.
I was like, I can see that, like a whole character flip. And it's just like he's just like, I was pulling y'all leg the whole time. That idiot y'all fell for that.
It won't no rumor. It's in the comic.
I heard it was a hard fact.
It's official now.
What?
Darth Jar Jar is for real?
Darth Jar Jar. Darth Binks.
Listen, bro. No, he's not a Sith either.
What is he? He's a Knight of Ren?
Made up some
no,
shit.
No, he's not a Knight of Ren. No, he's just a powerful Force user, bro. But like, he's on some mercenary type stuff. So the Sith Lords, right? It's kind of like he's in disguise, right? So he is playing everybody. But what happens is they finally catch him, right? Like by himself, right? So it's like him and like a trooper, right? He take a lightsaber, mow everybody down, right? Because he's stopping a Sith Lord. Like he mows him down, right? And then there's a Jedi that comes by. He mows him down too. And then when the trooper comes in the room, right, like one of the clones, he's just like, yo, he's like, oh, Misa don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. And he like bobbles it and drops it like, oh, I don't know what's that. And it was like, bro, another Sith walk up on him like, yo, I saw that though, bro. Like I seen you. And he was just like, he was like, you don't know not what you have seen. Don't address me. Like his voice got real serious real quick. Like he changed it up, right? Like he talked whole different. Like yo, don't talk to me like that, bro. You don't know what I'm doing.
That's almost a comical thought, though.
Yeah.
Miss, I kill you now.
Yeah, bro. Like,
no.
When his whole accent went away, I was just like, oh snap! And then he went back to Coonan. I said, oh, that's crazy.
Oh man.
All right,
bro. If that ain't the next movie, though, I'm boycotting Star Wars. like for real,
straight up,
like straight up.
This is what we do it? Okay. All right, Disney.
Because that sounds so interesting, right?
It was mad interesting, bro. The comic be coming through, bro.
Yeah. No, they do. They do. What is your Herbsurd question?
Oh, yes. All right. So if you could bag any one Star Wars character, right? Now, like all my Herbsurd questions, there's two parts to it. So I need y'all to answer the first one. I can't tell you what the second one is, but the first one. So that's it. You could bag them. I don't care if y'all just going on a nice, pleasant date.
Like a romantic interest bag. I just want to make sure we're clear for everybody listening.
Yes. I want like
there's bounty hunters in Star Wars.
I know, but I'm talking about like you can, you know what I'm saying? I ain't saying what y'all got to do. It could be something as polite as y'all just going out for a nice ice cream together. But you get to go ahead and accomplish, right? You get the digits and get that first date from one Star Wars character. I don't care, male, female, other droid. It don't matter to me. Who is it, right? And definitely give the why. That's not the second part of the question, but you can't just say a name, drop it, and leave it on the table. I don't want to hear that. Like, you got to bring it all the way out.
Oh, y'all got it. This one, I'm gonna wait for y'all. I'm gonna see if the room
I'm
is
just
safe.
trying to come up with something other than Leia. Like, I don't want to be that guy.
Hey,
Like,
man,
go
it's
ahead.
okay, bro.
Leia's
Carrie
fine.
Fisher bad. It's
Wait,
all
wait,
right.
yeah, but you know,
It's all right.
No,
I support Carrie
time
Fisher.
out. What is yours, Herb? Because you thought
yeah,
about
let's
this.
go with that.
Oh, it's
first.
Ventress. Everybody, hey, look, that's
Oh,
Ventress.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
Ventress,
You
bro.
did say that. He
Please-
told me. He told me
Please,
before.
please explain that.
Oh, all right. So listen,
She is dope though.
she's so dope.
She is,
Yeah.
but
Okay, so she
date worthy. I don't know. Like,
she was sold into slavery to a pirate, right? To torture people, right? Early on, right? So then, bam, Jedi come, save her, teach her the ways, right? He get murked. She go out, start tripping, want to kill a bunch of gangsters, right? She get captured, she becomes a gladiator. Then she gets saved again, and then she's Dooku's assassin, right? But the whole time she gets told, like, you're only an extension of the people that, like, you know, convince you to do some other, right? I feel like I want to go on that date with her and just tell her, like, you ain't got to be whatever some man tells you need to be. Like, you can be what you want to be, right? Like, I feel like even when she got with the Night Sisters, it was a thing where she was just doing what the Night Sisters wanted. And then you see the struggle with her constantly trying to make her own choices. And it's like she was on the dark side, and she said she loved being bad. She loved the dark side. But you see her making these light side decisions so often that she just wanted to be her own woman, but everybody keep putting labels on her. And I want to figure out the journey for her, where she actually wants to be. I want to know what she wants to do with her life. I don't care what people want her to do. I want to know what she want to do, and I want her to tell me out her own mouth how she feel. I want to have that emotional connection with Ventress.
Are you trying to save her?
No, I'm not trying to save her. That's not what I do.
It
That's
sounds
not
like
okay.
it sounds like you just
that's
want
not
to
acceptable
I'm not
to
in the
females.
hero
put
business
a
here.
cape on.
I don't want to put a cape on. I just want to know.
You don't need those lightsabers.
There's no book that fully delves into the why behind it. Just that that's a common trend for her because Dooku said so. But even still, Dooku says like, yeah, but I want to be the next guy to use you. I want to know. I want to know what she actually wants to do. Like if she didn't have to have all these terrible things keep being forced on her, I want to know what her goals and dreams would have really been. And she bad. So like, I mean, there's that. You know what I'm saying? But like, it can't just be because she bad. There's a lot of bad joints in Star Wars. It's just that.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And then the baldy is a look, yo. Because she got hair, but the baldy is a look.
Look, I don't know if Amber Rose like does cosplay, but if she was to ever cosplay as a size Ventress, I'm trying to speak that into existence.
Yes, bruh. I want that in my life all day. Why I
that'd
ain't
be
got
dope.
that yet?
That would
I'm
be
mad
so
at her
dope.
for not doing it now. Go
She
to
ever-
her next Walker's Ventures,
I was about to
bro.
say Halloween is coming up. She may hear this. You know,
That's Amber Rose, please. If you ever hear my podcast, dear Lord, please.
it might be in the thing.
Ventures for me,
Yeah.
just for me. I will never listen to Kanye again if you do it. I promise.
That was all right.
I promise you, I
That's
won't. Whatever it takes.
unfortunate. All right.
First of all, I would like to say that I want to just pass up this question because of y'all do know Alyssa edits these episodes.
Yo, right? Like we all have significant others, right?
She can answer it too. That's fine.
You said it didn't have to be a female. It could be a male character you just wanted to question.
Yeah, bro.
Could be a
know more
robot
about
too.
their backstory.
Could be a droid you just want to hang out with.
Yeah.
CP3. No, CP3's annoying.
It don't have to be a romantic.
D0.
That's weird.
Yeah, D0 was cool though. Like he was just like he was like antisocial, but like real like social at the same time. Like he
Y'all
was, like,
would get along.
like you like he like have a conversation with you, give you like this little weird ass pep talk, and then like you try to touch him, he's like no no thank you, no thank you.
Yeah, like y'all, yeah. And you say that, I'm like,
I love
okay,
that, yo. Like
yeah.
he was cool.
That's your homie right
on
there.
BB-8. Like,
Yeah.
Because for some reason, like I don't know, like something about the last series of Star Wars movies, like I could understand BB-8 when he was talking. I don't know if it was just me, but like BB-8 will speak. Like I never understood R2-D2, but when BB-8 spoke, I understood everything he was saying. Like I never like that, it was so weird.
Yo, they put so much emotion into him. That was
They did.
Cause he frowned and stuff.
Yeah.
Yo, bro. Yeah, he sighed. It was like watching Wally. Bro.
Yeah.
Right.
So okay, I'm gonna say I'm gonna do a droid too. K2 SO. Just because his sarcasm is just so
Yeah,
like we just
legendary.
be just talking junk about people like watching them like just people watching. Yeah. I bet you she got like ugly feet. He just be saying wild stuff to you that you can't say out loud. But you don't care because you're a robot
with no filter.
Yeah, you don't care.
It was somebody gonna slap me and just turn me back on later. I don't care.
Very opinionated droid, that's for sure.
Getting into fights and stuff, and I'd be like, "You got to chill out," but he taller than me, so I can't really tell him calm down.
With the longest arm,
he just be reaching over me and
smack you down. Oh man,
he's like a mini version of the Iron Giant.
Basically,
but like way meaner though.
Right.
Scale, bro. Yeah, he sassy, bro. That's the problem.
He was.
Be out here making people cry.
It's like I'm gonna do what you say, but only because I'm programmed to. But.
Yo, like he literally, I feel like he the type of droid where you just be quiet in a room together, and somebody just keeps staring at him too long. He'd be like, "No, your eyebrows uneven."
Yeah. Either that or he get up and like, "What do you want?" He just walk right up to you, be like, "Nothing now." I was just curious as to how you were programming. I don't know. No, I don't want anything. Troy, you got one?
I'm gonna go with Maz.
Oh
yes.
She is a very interesting character, also underrated to me because you didn't see very much of her. And I feel like if you got a chance to sit down with her and really get into a conversation, you could find out some interesting things, like secrets of the world type shit.
Yeah, bro.
I really feel like she would be an interesting interview.
She would also try to grab your butt, but it's okay.
Yeah, we could have some drinks and we could talk about that, at the cantina, whatever.
Like the fact that she's this just major pirate captain, right? Did y'all ever see the connection between her and episode 1?
No.
I watched a video about it on YouTube.
If you look, Anakin is playing with action figures, and one of them is a Maz.
No way.
Yes. So, she's a legendary pirate. Like she's a pirate queen.
How old is she?
Very.
She's
very.
She's like on some Yoda aging type stuff. Like she's hundreds of years old. So she was already a legend before Anakin was like a thing, right? Like he wasn't even around during her heyday.
Okay.
Right? He wasn't even thought of yet. And what made her go into hiding was Tarkin.
Okay.
Because he was taking out so many pirates. She was like on the outer rim. She like left the outer rim, went to the inner rim, and just like went to the whole other side of the galaxy to get away from Tarkin.
Right.
And just kind of made that hideout specifically so that, they could have some sort of salvation.
Right. And then the next generation just blows that all up.
Yeah. And then they said they was going to do more with her in the movies. And they didn't. Yeah. And Lupita got robbed.
Let's just go into this right now because we got to get to the Mandalorian at some point.
Oh, yeah.
This generation of Star Wars movies was the biggest letdown I have ever seen. And they didn't have a plan.
No.
There's no way you can tell me they had a plan. They wanted to be like everybody wants to be Marvel, but then nobody wants to put in the work and have the patience to see the plan through to, fruition. Rise of Skywalker is the biggest piece of trash of a Star Wars movie I've ever seen in my entire life. That's my opinion on it.
All right, so
go ahead.
I'm not super excited about how the movie turned out. I say that. I'm not going to say it's the worst thing I've ever seen as movie-wise. Star Wars movie-wise.
Yes. What's worse than that?
Bro,
Episode 1 is not.
No, episode 2 was dry to me.
It is dry. It's long and dry.
It's so dry.
But it's not
the love story I didn't care about because I don't care about love stories in Star Wars, honestly.
But it makes sense though. Rise of Skywalker makes no sense.
No, Rise of Skywalker does make sense. If you look at it, you're looking at it wrong. Let me tell you why you're looking at it wrong. Because I feel like people miss the whole point, and they're upset because you have a thought your entire life, and then you realize you're looking at the wrong character as the main character the entire time. And I'm about to school you on this. So you're looking at the movie from the perspective of Luke was the hero the first time you saw New Hope, right? Okay, cool. Who cares? It's not about Luke, right? It was about Palpatine from the beginning, right? So when I tell y'all Tarkin was the man, okay, Palpatine, he wins. The heroes, like the Battle of Yavin, yeah, it happens, right? But like, they just make a new joint, bro. The heroes do not win in Star Wars.
No, that's true, but
they don't win until Episode 9. Now listen,
go ahead.
It tells you story a long time ago, right? It tells you it's like this is in the past,
yeah,
right? Now, you look at Episode 1, Naboo, It's establishing the connection between Anakin and Palpatine early.
Right.
They're both from Naboo. You hear Palpatine has a theme song. When the Gungans win and they beat the droids, and Palpatine has little E.T. in the background telling everybody, yo, this man might be okay. And Jar Jar Binks is like, yo, let's put this man in charge, right? And he's winning, and Palpatine's winning from the beginning, right? And you think the heroes are winning, but it's Palpatine. Because keep in mind, you look at the story from 1 to 9. You don't look at the story from 4 and then back and then forward again, right? So from the beginning, they set up Palpatine to be this hero, a political hero. Everybody's a supporter of him, but the whole time he's shady. His theme song is very important because they're telling you, right? Like when they wrote the music with Star Wars, they was really trying to let you know what was happening next.
Yeah.
Rey's theme song is the same as Palpatine. That it was already a dead giveaway. Her fighting style is the same as Palpatine. It was a dead giveaway. That it was about that. So
go ahead.
When you move forward, right? You look at all the things Palpatine accomplishes through other people, through all the movies. Okay. When Anakin finally betrays, even during Clone Wars, the animated series, when he sends Tarkin to get Anakin to start betraying, it's all for what Palpatine wants to be done, and he keeps succeeding. He's winning. He's winning for 8 movies. He's winning. Yeah. But the reason why you focus on the Skywalker family is because inevitably he will lose at the very end because of Ben Solo. It took Ben Solo to defeat Palpatine.
So is he the one?
Through another Palpatine.
Is Ben Solo the one?
He's a merger of it's the merger of him and the Palpatine bloodline that does it. It's because that's what actually made Palpatine lose. When his own son clone was like, I don't want to really do this. I don't really want to be the most evil dude in known existence. I'm going to go ahead and just like hide my kid. And he was like, it's cool, bro. Don't even worry about it. And then what messed him up is you could tell he took like that last living breed of the Skywalkers and was like, yo, I'm going to taint him with the dark side because I want him. I need to keep. He knew the Skywalkers were going to be his downfall early on, right? He can see the future. That's a thing for Palpatine. He tried his hardest to keep them close to him to watch them. What just happened? I don't know. I just heard the sound change. I'm sorry. So he keeps them close to him. He keeps them close to him, right? So when he finally convinces Ben to kill everybody else and roll out, right, thinking that Luke was going to kill him, right? And you can see the same frustration in Luke, like, bro, I got to figure out how to stop this. What was he stopping exactly? He was stopping the downfall of Palpatine. That's all Luke was going to do, was stop the downfall of Palpatine. I believe that Palpatine is the one that convinced Luke, hey, kill this guy, get rid of him right now. Get rid of the next thing in line that could take me out.
Well, Luke had that struggle too. It's not as bad as Ben's, but he had that struggle with the dark side too.
Because he tried to stop. Now, what he did accomplish is Luke never had a kid. Palpatine's fault. Palpatine drastically tried to keep them from procreating, bro. He tried to stop that family line several times. Now, the one thing he couldn't do was stop that family line. He kept making clones of himself because he's like, yo, if I can outlive the Skywalkers, I can take the galaxy forever. There's no end in me. Because there's a prophecy that told him the Skywalkers are going to be the end of you. You're going to have great power and it's all going to stop. Now, when you get the Rise of Skywalker, it all comes to fruition. The reveal of Rey being a Palpatine is not a surprise. Her music is the same as his with a different tone.
See, all right.
Her fighting style is the same. It was there all along. It was not new information.
No, I'm not disagreeing. Now, you're embracing the story, and maybe that's my point. I'm not embracing the story, but because it's not a good story to be embraced. I feel like
I don't feel like that either.
It is if you love villains. I love villains, bro.
Look, no, I love villains too, but I wanted something different. Like, I mean, this is maybe just what I wanted. You know what I mean?
Talk about what you wanted. Let's hear.
Because like Snoke, it was cool, and he seemed like Palpatine. Then you find out he's just a weird mutant clone baby of Palpatine.
Right.
But then, like, okay, so Kylo Ren kills him in Last Jedi, and I'm like, okay, we're going in a new direction where either Kylo Ren Like, is it going to be the guy and Rey has to make a choice of whether she's going to like rule the galaxy with him, or she's going to fight him and stop his version of like the ultimate evil? We get none of that. He literally reverts back to being a servant for the Snoke Palpatine character, and then he turns good at the end, at the very end, because his dad or mom, like, well, actually, Leia basically presents a Force ghost of his dad.
You're right, because one of the things that I say, why I say I'm not a fan of how the movie is made itself.
It's clunky.
Yeah, it's clunky, and they foreshadowed too much. Like, I could tell exactly what the ending was going to be, like, early on. Like, as soon as they saw the snake, and it was healing the snake, and then the snake ain't attack him no more, I was like, oh, she going to hit Kylo with the lightsaber, he's going to be dying, and he's going to have a moment of truth where he's just like, yo, I'm out. But then she saved him anyway, even though he was trying to kill her, and then he's just going to be like, oh, well, you saved me, so I'm not going to be a bad guy anymore. I'm going to help you now. But then that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And I was just like, let me tell y'all something. I understand that it's for a new generation and you want to appeal to a younger audience. Just like when some people say, like, older people, when they first saw Star Wars, understood that was like Luke's father the whole time because it made sense. And like as a kid, it was like a huge reveal to you.
Right. It really was.
So if I was a kid, I'm thinking to myself, if I was like 7, that would have been a major reveal for me. I'd have been like, oh, my goodness, who knew he was going to turn to good and save everybody? Oh, my God. My mind would have been blown if I was a child. But as an adult, I go, it wasn't good enough.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't mind him turning good, but the execution has to be great because we know it's coming.
Oh, it's spoon-fed.
Yeah. Like, and it was not even that, like, they pulled Force powers out of their behinds. Like, all movie long. All movie long. When Rey stops the ship in midair, my friend literally looked at me and said, "Get the out of here." He yelled it, and I was like, "Bro, chill out." He's like, "No, what the?"
And just like I remember when that happened too, and I was like, "Chewie ain't gonna be on that joint."
Yeah, and then they did the beta switch.
Right. I was like, "There's no way."
I'll say he's on the second one. There's a whole another one. They
did
one show was that.
Yeah, that couldn't happen. That
they wanted their cake, and they ate it too. It was just
they wanted you to feel it,
and then they pulled the rug out of you, and then they gave it back to you. And it's like, no, just don't.
It's cool.
Let me keep the rug.
He's alive. It's just y'all chill out.
All right, so
they wanted to freak people out. I
Go ahead.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Like not necessarily a question, but here's what I wanted to happen. The Palpatine thing. I'm gonna be real with you. Had no idea it was coming.
Okay.
But when it came, I was disappointed that it came because I was like, that's not where I wanted y'all to take this.
Yeah.
So I wanted, and I thought it was weird that because like promotion is a really big thing, and it's like how you release certain things in the sequence. It kind of makes sense of where you're going or where you're leading with the story.
Right.
So Rogue One, somewhere in the middle of these 3 movies being released, it was released.
Yeah. Between 7 and 8.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like, what's the significance of this Rogue One movie? Was it just a movie, or is it just like are y'all going somewhere with that? So at the end of the Rogue One movie, Kira, she leaves Han Solo, and she goes with Darth Maul, said that I'm not done with you yet.
Oh, you're talking about Solo.
Yeah. Solo. Sorry.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Solo. Yes.
You missed that.
It's pretty good.
Solo. At the end of it, I'm just like thinking like, okay, why did that happen? And which makes it even worse because that movie came out after Rogue One, so that was in between. That was between 8 and 9.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like y'all had to release this movie for a reason, correct?
Oh, to set up a whole Darth Maul show.
Yeah. So what I was thinking, I was like, all right. So Kira disappears, goes with Darth Maul. Darth Maul has already said that when he fought Obi-Wan, he didn't die. He's still alive somewhere in the Star Wars universe. So I'm thinking like, okay. I'm thinking like, all right, Rey's Kira's daughter. There's going to be a whole big reveal. Some weird shit's going to happen, and Kira's going to turn out to be the new Sith Lord. I can see that.
All right, so this was the point of those prequel movies when it comes to the overall story of Star Wars from Episode 1 on. So Rogue One, right, it was more than just to pre-establish all the things that happened before the Battle of Yavin to make the Battle of Yavin happen. because if you remember, Mon Mothma said there was like a bunch of like Bothamans gave their lives to get these plans, and there wasn't a single Bothaman in the movie. Okay, so Bothaman like a dog-like alien species. I mean, there was not a single one in there.
I'm just saying.
So the whole point of that, right? Economically, was to tie rebels to the movie series. Right, so we understand that. That's why like Saw Gerrera's in it. Forrest Whitaker, my man. Saw Gerrera's.
He was in there.
Yo, he was.
He's definitely in that movie.
I was super hyped because I was just like, another black man in space. Who knew? They forgot. He's there now. They can't stop it.
But he looked so like it was too much. He was doing too much
because he was an animated character made in the live action, and they never looked not ridiculous.
I mean,
but the point of Rogue One was literally to establish the amount of viciousness like the rebellion had to go through to get to anything good. Like it took so, and then like I said, the whole thing about Palpatine's plan, like it was so dastardly because you constantly see them lose. And it's like the smallest glimmer of a win was like, oh, we found a blueprint. And everyone died anyway.
Yeah, I was about to say. It's not even that. So they get the blueprint to the ship, and then Darth Vader comes on the ship and kills everybody.
That scene.
That was a great scene.
It was fire with the rods.
All right, you have never seen Darth Vader so
quick,
so ferocious,
agile.
It's like, yo, that is crazy.
He had a shimmy boob, dodging lasers and stuff. Like,
and then had one of the coldest lines on Star Wars. Don't choke on your aspirations. And he had to put the dad joke. And true dad value. He had to put a dad joke and then killed the man. Like it was crazy. And he gave up. He's like, all right. And then so this is the thing you don't see in the movie. Let's talk about like. He let him survive like he was going to be cool. Tarkin kills that guy like 10 minutes after that. That's what I'm talking about. Like, that guy still dies. Yeah. It doesn't matter. He dies anyway. But Vader was like, I'll let him live. And Tarkin was like, did you let that guy live? He sucks. Kill him. He's failed. Kill that guy. He's going to slow us down later. Watch me get the whole Death Star destroyed now and I die because of that. And then it happened. That's exactly what happens later. Like 10 minutes, like flash forward to a day later. But Solo, right? So Solo, what that was establishing was the character of Han Solo and their importance in the Star Wars universe. Why he was so afraid of love, because he was gonna lose somebody, right? Like he was all about himself. He was selfish, blah blah blah. Like the only reason he ended up being friends with Chewie was to protect his own hide. And then the one time he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna trust some people," right? Woody Harrelson betrays him. Kira betrays him. He's just like, you know what? I don't love nobody no more. And then also, he did Lando dirty in that movie.
Dirty as fuck.
So later, when everybody's like, "Oh, Lando's such a betrayer,"
Lando owed him. Lando owed him.
Lando's like, "Bro, last time we hung out,
I lost my ship.
You cheated. You cheated in the game. You caught me cheating. You snitched on me, and you cheated yourself. You stole my ship, right? And you bounced out like I don't even matter, bro."
He did. He left him.
And so everybody's like, "Oh, well, he betrayed his best friend." No, what he did was, it was a homie he used to know who did him dirty. And it was like, you can either give us this guy that did you dirty, or you can sacrifice your entire city that you somehow became the leader of. Yeah. Good job, black man. And he was just like, well, easy choice.
And get your ship back, because he got his ship back.
Yo, he did. And he got to ride that thing for the rest of the movies, all the way up through number 9 with Neon Nub, his homie. Neon Nub, That's the man right there. He made it through all the Star Wars films alive. Admiral Akbar almost made it. R.I.P.
Yo, they were just killing people at one point in them Star Wars movies, left and right.
Yo, the fact that Wedge came back, I was just like, Wedge, somebody else made it. Yo, bro, there's so few people that make it. But all right, so the Solo movie establishes Han Solo's character, lets you know where he comes from, to make sense for the original trilogy, right? To establish how hard it was for him to get to the point where he was in love with Leia, to have kids with her, right?
Yeah.
It was hard for him. He put everything on the line. He sacrificed all his stuff, right? He put it all in the bag.
Work out.
So when you get the character of Ben Solo, and you're like, yo, the struggles for him. His parents struggled. He was raised by his uncle when both his parents were alive.
Yeah.
And then even though they were alive and they had kids together, they weren't together.
But you know how relatable that is to a generation of Star Wars fans?
It
this
is,
generation?
bro. Yeah. He had bad trust issues. His pops weren't around. His uncle had to raise him. And then when his uncle tried to kill him, he was like, yo, I got a funny uncle, bro. Pops, help me. Why'd you leave me with this dude? And he's just like, my bad, son. Me and your moms was beefing about some stuff I did when I was young, and I got trust issues. So I started tripping, even though she was mad loyal to me, and she held me down when I was locked up. And then he was like, well, I don't like my uncles no more. I'm out this joint. Granddaddy, where you at? Because a grandparent, you always love your grandparents. You know what I'm saying? He ain't know nothing about his grandma, but he at least had his granddaddy on his side. He was like, yo, I heard this dude was a bad dude, bro. He was a war vet. You know what I'm saying? He was really about this life. He was in the streets. So he worshiped his granddaddy. And then they tried to play that man. So when he killed his pops, the man who went around, who gave him up, who taught him how to not trust women, right? And he dealt with that whole issue with Ray, like, yo, I want this joint, she bad, but I can't trust her because my daddy always told me you can't trust women. Like, that's what Solo showed you.
Now,
right? The toxic passing down from generation to generation and how that affects, right? Because Han Solo was never supposed to be a lovable, charming character. He was a shady, selfish dude from the beginning. He's shoot first, ask question later. When they redid it and he like Greedo shot first and he did the 1 inch, right? It's always absurd because the point of the character was I shoot first. That man said, hey, you want to have a conversation? And he shot him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you want to talk without using violence? And he was just like, nah. No, bro, I'm going to kill you. What? I don't even care what you got to. You about to be telling me how you going to give me money and not chase after me. I'm going to kill you anyway.
Yeah.
And take your bread. I'm going to run off with your blaster.
Now, as you say that, though, I can see how Palpatine might have manipulated that situation, though.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yes,
he manipulated the whole series.
The whole thing, son. That's what I'm saying. Like, this man poisoned the family line, bro. Yeah. Relentlessly, and he did everything, and everyone they ever came in contact with, they also came in contact with Palpatine. They didn't get to talk to anybody who Palpatine didn't touch, bruh. He killed his boss, right, and then took our entire galaxy and just tapped it, right. And sometimes he smiled and said, hey, I'm just a senator, how y'all doing?
Yeah.
Don't y'all want some new laws, some new rules? I'm doing this for your people, for the Outer Rim. Y'all got disrespected before Palpatine came to power. I don't know if you're not about Star Wars canon. The Outer Rim, the same places that, Luke's from, Rey's from, Tarkin's from, Palpatine's from, Anakin's from. All these important characters are all from the Outer Rim. They're from the boonies. They're from the outskirts. But the big city folk was the ones making all these rules and regulations for the Outer Rim. The reason why Tarkin and Palpatine even got together was because they both had a love for the Outer Rim. And, like, Palpatine was the first senator to ever get into the council and be like, listen, you have to start caring about us backwoods planets. Yeah. Y'all cannot stop making regulations for big city people on the main throne worlds and don't care about what we got going on with the places that supply you with all your food.
Right. But that's also because George Lucas cares about those type of politics anyway, though.
Exactly.
Yeah. Also because, the whole a hero can be from anywhere type deal, too.
But that's why Palpatine...
He's the villain, too.
Yo, it's bad that he's the villain because if you look at that story completely differently where he was just trying to figure out how to make it so that the places that supplied all the food and minerals were actually in charge and not the places in the middle that didn't have nothing but residents actually controlled the rules and regulations. Palpatine was Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
Was it ever like confirmed
love
that he was Anakin's father?
Palpatine?
Yeah.
No, it was never confirmed.
I have a strong opinion about that.
Go ahead.
I mean, all right, so in Revenge of the Sith, you hear him talking to Anakin about how his master could enforce or influence the midichlorians to create life.
Yep.
Just the way all of that came off, the way it was set up, it makes sense that he would create Anakin to put in motion all of those events. So to me, that's like the only logical explanation.
Yeah, it's always been like hinted at.
Yeah.
That there's another theory about why the Skywalkers end up defeating Palpatine. It's not that it's Palpatine, it's Anakin's father. Because that is a major theory, and I agree with you. I actually think that's what it is, right? And I just think it went sideways for him. But in actuality, there's another theory that instead of Palpatine being Anakin's father, it was Plagueis.
Oh,
I thought about that.
Was
too.
Plagueis still alive though?
Didn't Sidious kill Plagueis?
Yeah.
He did kill him, right? So the whole thing is that Plagueis set in motion to make a whole separate counter movement.
Yeah.
Because with the rule of 2, he's like, yo, eventually, and he saw Sidious, Sidious is too powerful. He's gonna overthrow everything and take over the galaxy. He's too smart. I gotta figure out a way to subvent that and punish him later. So even when he dies, right, there's still something left of him to go through to keep him in check because he's so dangerous.
Right. Because the Force has to balance itself.
Oh, bro. Yeah, and he was the most unbalancing dude I've ever seen.
So, to get to the Mandalorian, though, there's a theory that's why Baby Yoda exists is because when Anakin was born, also the child was born.
Yo, that age gap makes sense, actually.
Because they're about the same age
gap. Yeah, they are.
So, so we should probably support this. I know y'all are not super duper up to date with the Mandalorian, but season 2, they're saying Ahsoka's supposed to be in it. Also, Sabine Wren. Is there any hopes? Also, Boba Fett. Is there any hopes, wishes for season 2 that you guys have so we can wrap this bad boy up?
No, but now that you said Ahsoka's going to be in it, I gotta see this now.
Rosario Dawson has been confirmed, I believe.
As Ahsoka?
Yeah.
What? Yes, crap. Why did I know
okay.
Yeah, right. don't get mad at me if it's not true, but I believe that.
No, I did hear that she was slated to be in it though.
Yeah. So,
yeah, but I didn't know which character.
Yeah, Ahsoka.
Wow.
Yeah, Sasha
that would be
Banks is in it, and I don't know if she's a Jedi or Sabine Wren.
I represent a woman of color. I'm very proud of Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, she definitely got confirmed. I don't know what character.
She's in the trailer. Like Sasha Banks is in the trailer.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Like I said, Boba Fett, and they're looking for the child's home planet in this season.
That should be interesting.
All right, so I don't think they can actually show you. George Lucas specifically never, like, he gave us little information about Yoda as possible, right? Right. So even though we keep getting and things that aren't even canon anymore about like from like the Legend series and everything. So you get other versions of his species. He won't tell you the species' official name, the name of their official language, right? Exactly how long they actually are supposed to live. You just know it's like thousands of years, right?
Yeah. Like Yoda's like 900 or something.
And that the first Jedi Master was of Yoda's species, right? That's all you know about them. Like, he won't give official data, like, on purpose. He said he wanted to keep the character super mysterious, right? So I think for them to give a homeworld, it probably won't happen. Just like if you notice, they don't actually give Baby Yoda a name. He's just called the child.
Yeah.
So I don't think they'll ever find his home planet. What I think that we'll find is where he was born, and I don't think it was his home planet.
Well, he's probably a clone. That's the theory going around.
I don't think he's a clone, man. I think he's Yoda's actual baby. Yoda wasn't the last of, well, I'm sorry, he may have been the last of his species, but there was a female of his species who he was very close to.
Yiddle? Something like that?
But way back in episode 1, y'all see her in the council, on the Jedi Council.
Yeah.
There's a female version of like Yoda's species, right? And then they always have these little aside moments when they talking, right? Because it's one of them rom-com joints, but like everybody makes fun to be like, bro, you gotta listen, we can't let Anakin in, he's gonna go crazy and kill everybody. And they was like, how could you possibly know that, Samuel L. Jackson? You know what I'm saying? I've been so busy working, and then the whole time he'd look over the shore like, yeah, I've been working. And she'd be like, yeah, daddy. Ooh. And then they go back into it, and then Sam Jackson just be looking like,
your Star Wars is so much better.
Yo, that's what I seen. I don't know what y'all diversion y'all seen, but that's what I seen. And I seen Sam Jackson get mad because, like, bro, I told you. And so the moment Anakin killed them kids, the first thing I knew it. I told y'all.
Actually, he was the only one that was really like, nah, Anakin
like
can't do it.
Real anti.
Yeah,
Anakin.
He can't do it.
Bro, he knew. Mace wouldn't do it. His force powers allowed him to see what was fitting to happen. He saw his own death. He's like, Palpatine gonna throw me out this window, bro. Y'all cannot let this happen to me, please.
Yeah, he was the only one that Palpatine couldn't get to.
I'm the Black Jedi. Please let me survive.
I want to see a movie where Mace is at the height of his powers.
Yes.
Oh,
because
that would be an origin movie. I would definitely be down with.
Yeah, I'd be down. Yeah.
I think it's too late now, though.
Not Samuel. I mean, whoever they get to do it. I'm just down. I just want to see Mace, like, just wrecking folks.
When whoever they got to do CGI version of Nick Fury,
Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah.
Yo, okay,
yeah,
they can do that. Then.
Yo, do that and still use Samuel L. voice, because even though he in his 70s, my homie is still at the top of his acting game.
Yeah,
the top of his acting game. So I feel like I would want to see that, and I would want to see Mace being the guy who knows exactly what's going to go happen next and tell everybody like, "We don't go down that road, brother. It's dangerous around there. You catch 5 to 10." And they just like, "Shut up, Mace. You don't know what you talking about." And then they catch 5 to 10 because they don't listen to Mace.
No,
I think like a Star Wars hood movie. I would love to see that.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I mean, yeah.
I want. I want Jedis in the hood. That's what I want. I want you know what I'm saying? Like I just want that so bad.
I do want
That
a
Old
buddy
Republic.
cop. A buddy cop Star Wars movie would be kind of dope where it's too, because they kind of gave you that with Anakin and with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, where they were like buddy cops.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to see that with like,
that's what they were setting up Finn and Poe for, that they never got accomplished. And then they were like, they was gonna make them a couple, and there was a lot of things that just didn't happen with them two characters that make me mad, because they're both men of color. If they weren't men of color, maybe they could have got some clout, but you can't do it around here. I had 2 options for representation in a Star Wars movie to be the main character, and they decided against it.
break down the couple theory for Aaron.
Oh, the couple theory. Yeah, all right. So, peep this, right? The first time you see Finn and Poe interact with each other, right? And they make that long and look in their eyes, right? Now, the rumor is that they were always intended to be a couple, and then they decided against it at the last minute. And if you notice, a couple things happen. Finn all of a sudden has like this Asian love interest, right? Because we still on the issue of race. They had to have an Asian in there because like Star Wars barely has Asian.
Yeah, you got to balance it out a little bit.
Right. Rose and her twin sister who dies, right? Like, it's ridiculous. So, but you can see he on some friend stuff.
Yeah.
It ain't really no love. It's on some friend stuff, bro. It's on some, that's my beard.
That's my best friend kind of.
Yeah. Like, that's his beard, right? But, like, the way, even the way he talk about Rey, that's his homegirl. Like, that's his best friend. Go bestie. No, that's how it is, bro. That's his bestie, bro.
Okay.
And so, like, but when he talk about Poe, like, if you ever notice when Poe ain't around, he always want to know where he's at, what's happening with him, what's going on with him. And whenever they are together, they make faces at one another, bro.
It was
they got intimate. Awkward. It was awkward. You could tell. You could tell that they like they were establishing like the will they won't they moments.
Yeah.
And this is how I feel. So when Luke and Leia kiss in New Hope, and then like later like, hey, brother and sister, and everybody's like, ew, hold on, can't do that. They're like, well, they didn't know, and I go, ew, though. You still let it happen.
It was a long time ago.
You knew, director. Director, you knew.
Yeah, they knew. Like, what are you doing?
George Lucas was like, yeah, it's okay.
You wrote the script, bro. You should have been like, hey, wait. Did you let them kiss? You can't have them kiss because they're related.
Yeah,
in my movie.
Can't do this.
So either you thought about it after the fact and you didn't really write these 9 movies at once like you claim you did, or, oh my God, right? It just happened, and then like they never talked about it ever again. Because if it was me, I'd have been like, "Hey, look, can we discuss how like we should never do that again?"
Just hug.
Yeah, bro. Like I would have had to dap my sister up after that.
Yeah.
If I kissed my sister and didn't know it was my sister, and I found out later it was my sister, bro, we dapping up. We never hugging or nothing. Like that's not happening never again, bro. Because I got to deal with them complications.
You just salute them and just
you salute.
You don't even no contact.
All right, I'm gonna say, all right, take care. Take care, friend.
Like I think the setup for that was just so they would kind of push it away from Han and Leia being together, because they
misdirection.
Yeah, they clearly knew that was going to happen already. So I think they were trying to misguide people on that.
I think it was more so George Lucas, honestly. Like even if he did write nine in a row, he thought the first one was going to be a flop anyway.
Right. Yeah. Everybody did. The cast didn't even believe in the movie.
So he was like, maybe if I do this, people will want to see it. And he was just throwing darts at a board. So when I look at Poe and Finn, there was no darts at a board. You knew you were going to make 2 more movies. You have all the money.
They didn't have a plan, though.
They didn't. And I could tell the first movie was literally just, let's play the original trilogy in one movie. Let's throw a compilation film up, right?
Yep.
So when I'm looking at it, and like I said, we keep trying to figure out who's who, right?
Yeah.
There was a complaint that Rey didn't have any action figures, right? Just like when Leia first came out. And so sitting and thinking about it, they go, all right, well, we can't say true to form, say, I don't know, but Rey's the main character, Finn's not the main character, Poe's not the main character, even though Poe has elements of Luke.
And Han.
And Finn does too. But then they end up being Leia and Han. Finn ends up being Leia. Poe ends up being Han. the relationship. They were like, oh yeah, let's go with that. Like I said, they make long and look. When you first see them, Poe saving Finn from his crash ship, that was the meet cute, like a rom-com. And so later they shoehorn in love interest. Like I said, Finn and Rose never have a real connection, right? Like they say they do, but it seems like forced love. It's just like, oh, I love you, even though I just met you 2 seconds ago.
Fan of his. That's all that was.
That's exactly what that is, bro. And he was encouraging it because he just wanted to be appreciated, because he was raised his whole life to not have feelings or emotions for others.
Sure.
He didn't know how to act. But he still wanted to know where Poe was. So even when Rey was missing, he's like, oh, I can feel her. I have a connection to her, right? Because obviously Finn's force sensitive. We can never deny that. But he still always wanted to know where Poe was at.
Right.
He had no purpose.
Right.
And so when Poe's doing his thing and he's just like, oh, I got to stand up and we can't kill these people. We got to make a good plan. We got to get rid of first or whatever. We got to figure things out. And he's that guy who's very selfish, but he wants to figure out how to get the job done anyway. And he finally gets on board for the real plan, just like Han. He also considers where is Finn and what is Finn doing, right? Like they're always rent-free in each other's minds. And so when they shoehorn in Poe's love interest, that's the worst. You brought up an ex-girlfriend who has no character development, who has some sort of backstory nobody knows, or is even established care about. You can see where she should have died, and then she just doesn't randomly.
Yeah.
To force a whole like rescue story that doesn't make any sense.
True.
And so even at the end, when you see everybody's love interest finally come together, here's the thing that messes me up. So they told y'all from the beginning there is a same-sex couple. They tell us that from the beginning. Yeah. And so what they do is they establish this 2 women in the resistance, right? Like all of a sudden, this I don't know who've never really interacted with one another.
Well, they did that in Avengers too. That's Disney's way of getting out of stuff.
Yeah.
Here's my thing though, because we got to wrap this up.
Yeah.
This all could have been avoided if Disney was comfortable with Finn and Rey being in the couple. That's literally what it was. Because
but Finn and Rey don't make a good couple to me. Poe and Finn make a better couple to me.
I mean, that's fair in your opinion. I see it differently, right? I see it as Finn and Rey. Well, first of all, they could have been the whole Jedi couple in general anyway. They could have been trained together. That's a whole nother...
That was my thought process.
Whole nother thing.
But y'all missed the point of Palpatine being the main focus, which means that it was always going to be Rey and Ben Solo. It was always going to be. It was never going to matter. It was that from the beginning.
Now, here's my thing with the Palpatine thing. I agree with you that he should have probably been the villain, but I think he was the villain to cover up the fact that Last Jedi screwed up everything.
Do you know what the planet of Jakku is important? Like, it has an importance. Do you know why?
It's a battle for something.
The planet is the home of a Sith temple.
Okay.
Which a non-Sith Lord is put in charge of in the Empire to guard. He decides to guard that temple by making that planet look as undesirable as possible and turning it into a desert to keep people from knowing the true power of the Sith that lives beneath it. So when they hide Rey, supposedly, they put on a planet where there's a Sith temple. They always, like, Palpatine's clone son believed the foolishness, and he was like, oh, there's nothing on this planet. There's absolutely 0 things on this planet. There's no importance of it at all. I'll leave her here because no one will ever come here. And Palpatine was like, bro, I set that up decades ago to look humble, and secretly it's one of the most powerful Sith places known to man. She was forced to be infused with the dark side from a small child. They had already pre-planned Rey and Ben Solo from beginning, from Jump Street.
Well, here's my thing,
which means Finn and Poe were left.
Here's my thing, though. When I'm saying Last Jedi messed it up, they don't cover enough in that movie for anything to make sense in Rise of Skywalker. They had to rush so much in Rise of Skywalker.
That was my only complaint too.
Now, like as I'm saying, like the story you're telling, it makes way more sense and it's better than what we got in Rise of Skywalker.
There's a lot of character development going on in the background on that movie. Rey was by herself for the whole fucking time.
Dude, you're right. There, and I think it's a good point
that's my frustration.
They made those movies so that you have to read the books to connect the movies, because there's so much in the book that isn't in the movie that literally it pieces together the things that happen between the movies you don't get to see.
Yeah, and it wasn't that bad when George Lucas was doing it.
You're right. I think he did show more in the movie itself.
Like they were complete movies.
Consider the books when he was
He
doing
wasn't.
them.
He wasn't doing them.
The books were an afterthought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Disney owns all of it, and Disney's trying to make money,
Yeah, that's their only focus.
which is fine. But it's just you're cheating the story.
Yeah.
Right.
I do feel cheated.
I really didn't even think I was going to watch the most recent 3 movies when I heard about all of this and the new, route they were going with
Yeah.
Disney. I really didn't think I would, but I just couldn't. I don't know. I couldn't let my wonder about it wander.
Right.
I had to go see the movies, so just to have an opinion about it.
And then as an OG Star Wars fan, it's like I
It's-
don't like where they're going with this,
Right.
but I'm gonna watch it anyway.
It's almost
Like
like
I'm gonna
you gotta
complain
finish
about
it.
it. I'm gonna complain about
Yeah.
it the whole time, but I'm gonna watch it anyway.
You gotta
You're
finish the story.
obligated to watch the movie.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
got one last thing. I'm not even going to get the second part of my absurd question. That's fine. But
Oh,
there's one
Lord.
last thing I want to do before we end the show. The best thing the Mandalorian establishes is that there's another black man in space. So, right? Because you only get a handful, right? We're almost at 5. So I need to know.
Is that it?
Hold on. All right. So
Lando?
Lando,
Mace,
Mace, Saw
Finn.
Gerrera.
Oh.
Finn, Lando. I'm sorry, we are at 5. And then 6 for Mandalorian. It establishes it as a stormtrooper like leader who is black. So 6. We're now made it past one hand.
Did you say
on
Carl Weathers?
Carl Weathers?
Yeah, Carl. What's his Griefer? Something Griefer? The black guy in Mandalorian.
No, that's what I said. He's number 6.
Okay.
He's number 6. So we finally made it to a second hand when counting on hands. It only took was it 4 decades or something?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I don't feel bad though, because my Hispanic side, I'm still on one hand. Now,
Yeah, because you had what's his name in Rogue One.
and then I had Poe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
That's it.
it's like yeah, his
That
father. Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's okay, man.
We'll talk
Look,
about that
at least
later.
like you behind the, you got 8 because if you
Oh,
put them all together.
how many white people got?
I mean,
No offense, Troy, but I'm just saying, like,
it's out there, man. I mean, it's talked about.
yeah.
It's a big thing.
James Earl Jones.
Hey, well, he's only the voice,
But
though.
he didn't necessarily count because he played the voice of a white guy. So
I thought Ice-T was the body for like years. I said it in a previous episode. I don't know what made me think Ice-T was the body, but I just naturally thought Ice-T and James Earl Jones made a good combination.
You would have shot people. You wouldn't even.
But no. So that's I think that lets me know how Troy feels about it then, because like I feel like it was necessary. We finally got like a 6th black man in space. And like Aaron, you ain't seen The Mandalorian yet. If that gives you any reason to see it, it's that they add a 6th black man in space. He's a villain, and that's okay. I love villains. But he shows himself to be very powerful, and it's an actor that everything he ever plays in, he's very suave, just like Lando, except he always plays a bad guy. He plays like the one cold, calculating bad guys with a super clean face.
I love those.
They gave him a little mustache too. It's dope, and he has a dark saber.
Yeah, it's got a whole history. We got to save it for another one though. We got to save it for another one.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's been dope though.
Yeah, I wrap it up. Hey, you wrap up speech.
Oh,
All right.
you want me to do it? I don't have one.
You want to do it?
I don't.
Oh, okay. But
Go
then I'm
ahead.
gonna do my wrap up speech. All right. Thank you everybody for listening to Herbsurdity Podcast with Alex and Herb. This has been Edberto Vasquez El Segundo, and to my left,
Just Alex.
so good willing and God bless.
With hands on feet unique, my stick a new technique. Don't fuck with internet beef, bitches me and I beef. How you saying? I am the man, I go super saiyan when I'm on the beat. Piles of sand, buckets and pans, I get to the bands when I'm in the streets. With hands on feet unique, my stick a new technique. Don't fuck with internet beef, bitches me and I beef. I see zippers, I Michael Jack 'em, or hold his hood for ransom, find his man.